I have a friend that I used to work with who had a question, and it was pertaining to a friend of theirs, and they was just asking me like just a typical a question, and they wanted my opinion on it. And so the topic that we came to was really about how this person, their friend, and someone else that they know had comparisons to their behaviors and their attitude. And all of us are of course different, but we do have some type of similarities that makes us enjoy each other's company. Have That's how we have friends, because either we're completely different and we just together so well, or we're the same type of person, and sometimes it doesn't go so well, and sometimes it makes the best friend. So we were really on that type of topic, and he was saying to me that he thinks that his friend and this other person has more similarities to them than they imagined. And it was based on men, and we were trying to talk about it, and he wanted my opinion on, do I think the same thing, because I used to know them as well. And I said, I do. I do. I really do. Because, and I agreed with them, because when you have two people, when you have two friends of yours that aren't on the same page as they were before, you begin to look into their behaviors and find any similarities as to why they may react, or they have the same type of actions to what they do, and pertaining to certain things in their lives. And so we were on the topic of men, and he's not gay or anything, but he really wanted a woman's perspective on how we really think and what is actually going on, and and the situation that he was going through. Yeah, a lot of times what they go through and what they have gone through, because he knows them, I would say, better than I do, longer than I have. And so they do have a similarity in this aspect, in this part of their lives with men. And I was telling him that they have a lot of relations, but they don't have relationships. And that's where they go wrong, because they've had so much turmoil and negativity in their lives. And every time that they would have a relationship, it never ended good, because of what has happened in their lives, and because of their last relationship not working out the way that they thought it was going to be. Then they start to treat other men the same way, and it goes the same way with men. Men get to the point of helplessness and hopelessness, and they get to the point where they want to just wild out. I don't even know a better way to say that, but they just wild out. And it's so unfortunate, because here you have good men who were really good men before starting out, but then they had that one mess up, or they had 3 mess ups with women who were doing them wrong, and they say, you know what, enough is enough. And that's how it is with women. You get to the point you're like, okay, enough is enough. I don't have time for this. You know what, if they want to get dirty, all men are the same, and they take that to heart, and they say, all men are the same. If he's going to do me like this, or if she's going to do me like this, then I'm going to do the same to them. And that's where we go wrong, because that's where we have relations, but we lack the relationship. You have to make those mistakes sometimes in order to learn from them, so that you can grow. And then as you get older, then you begin to realize what actually happened in your past. And a lot of times it does take people longer than what they anticipated. It doesn't matter if, say for instance, this guy likes this girl, and she has some issues that she hasn't been able to resolve yet because she is still immature sometimes, and so you have that dysfunction going on, and he's like, you know what, that's okay, I'm not about this, I can't do this anymore, because that person, that girl that he was after, or that he wanted, or that he was talking to, and he wanted to get to know better, just basically blocked him out. And a lot of that stems not just from the relationship that they had previously, but it, in my opinion, now don't lash at me, but in my opinion, it stems from the mother. Because a lot of times, and I'm only saying this because of my experience, not me, a lot of it isn't me personally. Some of it is, of course, but it's also because of people that I have grown up around who have also gone through the same situation, or even worse than mine. And it stems back from the mother. And then it also stems because you don't have that father figure in your life. You have so much estrogen, but you don't have that testosterone to help balance it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have your mom, you have your grandmother, and you know, you have sisters in the household, or around you, that you've grown up with, but you don't have that true father figure. It doesn't have to necessarily be your dad, your biological dad. It can be your stepdad, or it can be your grandfather, or it can be your uncle, it can be your big brother, whoever it may be, that's actually, or even a cousin. It can be someone in your life who has truly been there for you, that can truly show you the ropes of what it is like to actually have a good man, and to seek a good man, instead of trying to go towards, you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry, who ain't doing nothing in your life. So that brings me to my second point, with the title being I Get It From My Mama. Now, I know a lot of y'all have heard of this saying, oh, I get that from my mama. Oh, I'm just like her. I'm just like my mama in that way. She already told me I'm just like her. Oh, I see this in my mama. And it's not always just your mom, but it's sometimes your uncle, it's sometimes your aunt, and all this other stuff. But I'm saying this because a lot of times we use that as an excuse. And I know when I was with my ex, a couple of years ago, he would always tell me, he would let me know about my behavior, my actions towards him and towards a situation. And it was always negative, because I would always get upset about something really easily. And he would tell me that, you know, why are you acting this way? Why are you acting petty? Why are you acting, you know, out of character? Why are you doing this? And my excuse would be, I'm just like my mama. She does the same thing. And I had to realize, looking back as I have gotten older, looking back at that, I had to realize that I was being my mother's child. I was acting the same way my mother acted. I stood back and I thought about what he told me a long time ago. And I looked at, you know, her behaviors and her actions, and I said, wow, that's something that I used to do. That's me. And I said, oh no, I can't do that, because I realized at that moment that I am my own self. I came into this world through her womb. I came in her womb, right? She is my mother. But at the same time, I have my own heart. I have my own mind. I have my own thoughts. I have my own act. All of it is me, but it's stemming from her. and my actions and my behavior is stemming from what I am used to seeing on a daily basis. And a lot of times we don't realize it. And it takes us time to come to that realization that we are acting just like the person that we have been around our entire lives. And a lot of times also is that we take on the bad habits that they have, and but it's our responsibility to break away from that, because next thing you know, it becomes like a generational thing, and I call it a generational curse. It becomes something that is a triple down effect, or it's not trickle down effect, where you have your mom that treats people a certain way, and you start to do the same thing, or you react to things in a certain way because you don't have that type of discipline, but you get it from your mom of how she reacts to things, like you see her doing it, so you think it's okay for you to do it, and it becomes that trickle down effect. So it starts as your mom, or it starts as your grandmother, then it goes to your mom, then it goes to you, then it goes to your children, and it's just something that is a continuous cycle that is just not good. And the example that I have is that when people go to like an interview, or when you are out, on a town with your friends or anything, and something happens, like an altercation happens, and you and another person get into it. This is not really who you are. You can definitely change who you are, but because you've seen your mom do it so much, and you feel as though, it's okay for you to do it, you decide that you want to go ahead and react in a negative way to how that person has attacked you, has started. Like, you didn't start the altercation, but you are deciding that you're going to finish the altercation, and you're going to get up in that person's face, you're going to call that person's names, you're going to get to the point where you want to fight this person, and it's just truly chaotic. Everything truly gets out of hand, and next thing you know, it's like, wow, you then, as you look at it 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, heck, and you actually look at what you actually did, and you say, dang, my mama was doing the same thing. Or it doesn't even have to be fighting, but it can be something like, you get upset easily. It's just something that can truly change you, and make you into something that you're not, and that you're not, but you use that excuse, and you feel like you can get away with it because your mom does it, or because you have that person that has been in your life your entire life, that has really been that role model for you, and they've actually been, by their actions and their behavior, they've really been showing you the wrong way, and you just don't know it until you actually get older and you look back on your life and see, man, I could have done this situation better, I could have done that situation better. The next point I have is, I'm my own self. So like I said, I have my own thoughts, I have my own heart, I have my own life. At the end of the day, this is what I told my friend yesterday. At the end of the day, I am my own self, right? When I die, it's just going to be me. You can't take anything with you when you leave. You die by yourself. It's not like you die with your mom right by your side. No, none of that. You die alone. You came into this world alone, and you're leaving alone. I know that I'm different, and this is me. Like, God is trying to change me into a better person, but yet I'm going in a different direction. I'm going in the same direction, the same the same circle as my mom is going, because I'm not doing anything different in my life. I'm actually following her lead instead of following the lead or the path that God has for my life. So in that way, he has given me everything myself. I have my own heart, I have my own lungs, everything is mine. She birthed me. I was in her womb. She is my biological mother, but at the same time, I have my own identity. And that's a lot of times where we get, things misconstrued, because we think that because this person is our mother, or because this person is our role model, or our figure that we look up to, we use that as an excuse to do whatever we want to, or to get away and not have a lasting relationship, because we feel like we are obligated, or we feel like no one can tell us anything about who we are, because this is who we are and there's no changing. Like a lot of people, that's what a lot of people say. Oh, this is how I am. This is who I am. No, that's not who you are. That's who you choose to be. You decide, because you are your own person. So you decide that you want to go this route, or you want to go this route. No one is forcing you. No one is forcing you to putting a gun to your head and saying that you better go this route. You better go this route. No, you have your own mouth. You have your own thoughts. You have your own life. Okay? You have your own journey. No one can write your story. No one can walk your journey except you. The Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, and they will not go astray. You're only doing things that you've learned, but you don't know the reason behind it. You're only doing it because this is what you saw. This is what you've learned. But if you rewrite your story for the next generations to come after you, then you won't have these issues. You can become a much better and greater person, and have your own story, have your own outlook on life. Because what they have set up for you, or where they may want you to go, is not where you need to go. It's not just the behaviors, but it's also the way of life of maybe your mom or maybe your dad or whoever is in your life is telling you that they want you to go down this road of this specific career path. Maybe someone wants you to be a nurse. Maybe someone wants you to be a doctor or a lawyer, because those are the typical people, right? That the typical career paths that make a lot of money. But you, on the other hand, want to be a psychologist, or you want to be a firefighter, you want to be an entrepreneur, and you can't change, or you feel like you can't change your life. You can't change the direction of where you want to go, because everyone is telling you that you need to go left when you actually want to go right. And it's very sad. And I've been down this road, and I got to the point where I was like, no, this is actually what I want to do. This is what the Lord has for my life. He has prepared and planned this out for my life, and I had to put my foot down and say, this is my life, and I'm going to do it. I was afraid at first, and I know a lot of you are. I was definitely afraid at first, but I said, this is what I want to do in my life. This is my life. I am completely, yes, you are my mother, but I'm still my own individual self. I am my own person. So I have to do what is right for me and walk the path that is destined for me. Taking a torch to the next step. You start off with one generation. Say, for instance, you start off with your grandmother, and your grandmother is running with the torch in her hand, and she's running to your mother. And so she's giving your mother the torch so she can go ahead and run it to you. And then you take it on. And then right in between you and your mother, the torch goes out. Let's just say that. The torch goes out because it stopped with, and what I'm saying is that it stopped with you and your mother. You weren't able to continue carrying that on to the next generation. It stopped with you because now you have this, now you have the fire has gone out, and you are trying so hard to change who you are, change your life, instead of going down the same path that your mom has gone down. You're trying to write another story for yourself so that you can differentiate yourself from your mom, and you won't be associated in a way. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but I'm saying that every single time you see someone that's saying, oh, this is, so and so, maybe this person is talking behind your back and they're saying, oh, that's so and so's daughter. Oh, I bet she just like her. When they see you, they already know. They don't even have to talk to you, but they already know, oh, this is so and so's daughter, and look how good she looks. Look at, the accomplishes that she's made, the accolades that she has, because she decided to go a different route than what her mother did. Or it doesn't even have to be your mom. It can be your aunt, or whoever. Like I said, whoever is a role model in your life. You decided to go another path that will help you with success, because that's what happens with generations. They start at one point in life. That's their generation, so they're trying to help you out as best as they can. But because your mom wasn't there in your life, now you feel, now here you are in this life, in this world, and you are, relationships with not just men but anyone is not going the way that they should, because the lack of the relationship that you have between you and your mother has not been existent. So then when that person tries everything they can to get you on the right path, but unfortunately was not successful, I would say, in a way, then here you are in your 20s or in your 30s or your 40s, and they have carried the torch off to you. So now it's time for you to actually, rewrite your the wrongs that have been done in your life. And now you have children, now you have a husband, now you're, everything is it's going great in your life. But the one thing that is different, that needs to change, is your behavior. There's one little thing that's stopping them from truly getting to where God wants them to go, and that's their behavior. That's their reaction to things. And it all stems back, go back to that generation. It all stems back from what their mother did when they were younger, or maybe their mother was just not in the picture. And it's very unfortunate, but I'm just here to let you know that rewrite your generation, rewrite your wrongs that have gone on in your life. Understand what is going on and turn that around for the betterment of your life, so that you can come out victorious, and so that you can continue to work on yourselves and be able to not just keep it, where you are, but being able to move that now to your, maybe the rest of your siblings, or your children, but just being able to go to the next generation to be able to pass on it.